My friends, my brothers, welcome to the Alpha Season 6 list review hosted by yours truly, Glarg, middle rate player, top rated abuser of people. And we're going to go through some lists here from people. There is 180 lists to go through. I am going to go through all of them as much as they need to be done. If there's like a standard list that we end up seeing loads and loads of times in a row, I will just give it a cursed tree. This person is running this, and it's the same as we've seen before. Maybe I'll look at the relics and warlord traits to see if there's any difference, but usually it's just the same stuff if people are running net lists, which I hope a few of these are, because it's going to take me a long time. To preface this whole thing, I am not good at this game, and I do not know about every single faction in this game. Do not fucking message me saying, oh, well, actually, this army's really good, or my list is really good because XYZ combo. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to look at your list, and I'm going to instantly snap judge it with my poor knowledge and my lack of any sort of compassion for your list building. So, don't message me, don't at me, don't come for me, because I'll just ignore it. Yeah, so just keep that in mind when I start insulting people your list and you don't like it. I don't know anything about it. You made it. It's probably a good list. I don't give a shit, but I just don't like it. So let's get into this. I think we're gonna skip a sentient. No, let's do it. Let's look at a sentient potato, and I think this is one of the best players in the whole entire Alpha League. He's very very easygoing and level-headed. I'm just kidding. This guy quit. I mean, I think after his first game. It's fucking boring ass list anyway. I mean, who the fuck takes Death Watch and doesn't take a single Indomitor? Oh, he did take Indomitor, but it's all Eradicators. When you already have 2 Invader ATV squads. What a big nerd this guy is. Fuck him. Fuck this guy. Okay, on to the next one. Aggressively memeing, who's playing Harlequins like every other person. So this is a Harlequins list. It's Soaring Spite. I can't remember which one that is, but people either run Soaring Spite or the other one, Frozen Stars. I think Soaring Spite's the one that lets you shoot pistols, and I think that's probably the case because he just has a shitload of pistols. But we'll see. Shadow Seer with some things. I presume this is just the Shadow Seer that makes them double move and has like the -6 inches to range and -1 to wound and shit like that. Or he has double Shadow Seer for that purpose entirely. And then the Troop Master, player Twilight Shield from Arm, Payroll Roll, Shadowstone, Twilight Pathways. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's included the guy with Domino Shroud for the... Unless he's got it on Death Jester or something. Nope. So no Domino Shroud, which is, I think, one of the strongest things in the game you can have. Which is, Domino Shroud's basically, I think it's a relic or a warlord trait that allows you a 12-inch, at the start of any phase, a 12-inch teleport. So basically, your character becomes immune to charging. And can teleport in any direction 12 inches at the start of any phase. It's crazy, crazy good. But I don't know, maybe it's Frozen Stars only. Who knows? So he's got the usual HQ choices, Shadow Seer and Troop Master. I don't know if this is one of those super Troop Masters that just goes crazy and kills everyone super quickly. And also, who the fuck knows the difference between all the Harlequin different melee weapons? Caresses, kisses, blades? I don't know any difference. So we got some troops here. This is just crazy to me. 95 points, which is like fucking nothing. And you get 5 fusion pistols and like swords, which are decent enough. I think these are just like strength +1, AP 0, 1 damage, but still. They actually might be AP 1. I'm not going to check anything, by the way. Don't expect me to check anything. So he's got 3 squads of those, so it's 15 fusion pistols in total. And these are all the shooty guys that stay inside the boats. And then these are all the melee guys with the caresses and embraces. With just shuriken pistols. And they go in the boats and then they move into the middle, come out the boats, kill people. A couple of Death Jesters. Humbling Cruelty, I think's that special sniper gun that does mortal wounds or something, and Harvester Torment might be the one that does leadership shenanigans. He's got like, see, I think the Solitaire, like, he's got kind of the beat stick Solitaire, and I think in most lists that's sort of been replaced by the Super Troop Master that you can get. I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. 2 squads of 4 Skyweavers. All run good units, very good insurance against a lot of things. Using them to double move, and it's so easy against something like Space Marine to double move those Skyweavers into a place where they can charge characters or charge backfield objectives, and just be such a hassle. Like, you can charge into Blade Guard Vets, maybe kill 1 or 2 on the charge, and then curtain fall out and not take any damage at all. Crazy. Or even kill a character and just curtain fall away. And then he's got the requisite 1,000,000 Starweavers to put all those troops in. So if you think these troops are 95 points for a group of 5 with fusion pistols, and then 80 points for a Starweaver. So you're paying 175 points for 5 fusion shots, 2 shuriken cannons, and a bunch of shitty melee weapons. But they move at such an incredible rate. They're pistols that can fire after the Starweaver's advanced. And he has all those stratagems to like fall back towards the Starweavers and whatever. It's such massive utility for such a low points cost. Like 175 points for something that moves so fast with so much firepower should not be looked down upon. And that's why Harlequins are doing so well. Spent way too much time on that first list. I need to hurry up. Chaos, boys. Okay, so looks like this is a Death Guard sort of list. Death Guard with Nurglings, basically what the Nurgle sort of Chaos list is now. So a couple of Demon Princes with all their lovely psychic powers that basically do nothing. Cultists, Plague Marines, so 2 big things of Plague Marines: Noxious Blightbringer, Plague Surgeon, Crawler, Poxbringer, Nurgling, Beast Nurgle. So, the reason this list doesn't work anymore is because he doesn't have the drills to dump these Plague Marines out of and throw grenades at. And that's what the Noxious Blightbringer's for. I think that's what it is. I could be wrong, but that's the thing that gives the grenade stratagem that extra bit of strength. And that's why it doesn't really work anymore, because you don't have the drills to get them in close. And Plague Marines are so slow and easy to avoid right now. It's going to take him so many turns of advancing just to get into the middle of the board. And it's such a telegraphed and obvious way to play the game that's very easy to play around, I find. And the main thing that's good about this is it's a very durable army. And it's very hard to kill it all. And then he's got the 2 Nurglings and the Beasts of Nurgle, which are also very durable. And Nurglings are really good at holding midfield objectives. But I wonder if this army would not be better if it just had less Plague Marines, because really what the fuck are they going to do? And more Nurglings. And 3... Yeah, you could just have like 3 Plague Burst Crawlers, like in a Spearhead or whatever. And just play it that way. Just play the durability game that way, because it just takes too long for Plague Marines to get into the middle of the board. Yeah, so that's the end of that chapter. It's an okay list. I don't know if it'll actually do. Mechanicus, let's see if it's the same as every other Mechanicus list in the game. So Mars, obviously, is one of the most popular Forge Worlds right now. I think actually the meta one right now, inverted commas, is the Rickard Nelson one, which is the mixed attachment. And not many people are actually using the pure Mars, and Call himself is very expensive. So he's got Call, Engines here, Manipulus. Manipulus is the Warlord, obviously, because he's going to get Divination of the Magos, which is the exploding 6s to hit. Very, very strong. Personally, if I'm doing a Mars army like this, I would not take the exploding 6s. Because you hem yourself into a playstyle there where it's, I'm going to shoot you off the board. I really hope you don't countercharge, or I really hope you don't charge me and tie everything up with stuff I can't kill. I like the fall back and shoot one more. That's just my personal opinion. Engines here with Prime Hermeticon, which is the reroll all hits in melee. and Call with Stack Sam Code, which is the 9-inch reroll all hits to shoot bubble. Vanguard, just bog standard objective holders. Corpse Guy, Fulgurites, Serbies, Disintegrator, Striraptor, Termite. It's alright. My main problem with this list is too many Serbies. There is a point where you have too many Serbies Raiders, and it's this point. This should get to fucking. This should be, what are they? Chicken Walkers? Iron Striders? Because this list it's cool and all, but you've got 300 and something points tied up in drills. They're just going to drop off 2 squads of Electro Priests. And these Electro Priests don't have any buffs to charge. No way to reroll all hit rolls. Like, they'll reroll hit rolls of 1 with Canticle, but all the other rerolls are in a castle. And there's not that much to castle. Like, he's got all this castle stuff here. All this Belisarius Call, Attack Priest Manipulis. That's 2 CP and 270 points of castle grade material. And his castle consists of 2 Scorpius Disintegrators. And maybe 2 drills if he keeps them on the board. But without even the Volkite Chargers, I don't see the point. So basically the only thing that he's using Call to get rerolls on is Disintegrators. And he's only got 2. And they're mixed type as well. So not great at all. I think this will do good just on the merits that Serbi's Raiders are fucking broken. And also Stratoraptor's garbage. Use the Fuselaf. Yeah, this will do okay with the simple fact that Serbi's Raiders are fucking broken, and this is a massive amount of wounds for a lot of armies to try and kill. But overall, list construction is just not that great. And I played a lot of that mech. I kind of think I know what I'm doing there. So, A-Magic with his garbage Space Wolves. What a man. He's got Logan Grimlar on the fucking slide. What a crazy guy. I think this guy, he's like 12 wounds or something, so he can be targeted. And then he's got like a 3-up, 4-up. So he's not even that hard to kill. I think I played against him. Not against Amaji, but I played against a player who was using Logan Grimlar on a sled. And there was just no way he could hide them. And they just died turn 1. And to put him as the Warlord as well, I find that very weird. Primaris Chaplain on a bike. Probably one of the best Space Marine... Probably the best Space Marine HQ in the game, actually. Exhortation of Rage, which is the +1 to wound, I think. Canticle of Hate, which is the reroll all hits. Nope. It's the +2 to charge. That's what it is. He's Master of Sanctity, so he can do both of them. He has Armor of Russ, which is obvious. Who doesn't take Armor of Russ? And Wise Orator. Again, very standard build for Chaplain for Space Wolves. I can't remember what this guy's Warlord trait is. It's one of the sagas, but I can't remember which one. Grey Hunters. Who the fuck are they? Are they basically scouts? No, they are tacticals, I think, but they're cheaper than tacticals. Something like that. It's weird. They're like exactly the same as tactical marines, but they're 5 points cheaper. Inceptors. Obviously, everyone takes Inceptors now because they're the best unit in the game, possibly, for their price. Easily. And then a Vanguard. Why? Oh, for the... Why? I guess he doesn't want to take too many troops. That's his thing. So, Vanguard of a Librarian, because the Space Wolves Librarian is really good, actually. Well, he will be when his psychic powers get fixed to do what they want. Rights of War, so OBSEC in 6 inches. Vox Asperatum for the extra 3 inches, so OBSEC in 9 inches. Bladeguard Vets, Murderfang, Vendread. Ooh, with Shield and Axe on both. Interesting. T-Wolf Cav. Yeah, so pretty standard. I'm surprised he didn't put some drop pods in for the Dreads. I kind of like that sort of play for Space Wolves. You just shove Dreadnoughts at them turn 1, so they can't deal with the Thunderwolf Cavalry effectively until turn 2. And then turn 2, like, turn 1 they spend killing the Dreadnoughts, and that's the turn that Space Wolves don't like, because they need to push up, and they don't have any good way to do that fast. So turn 1, the Thunderwolf Cav are out in the open, they don't want to get shot. Turn 2, they get into combat. And that's what I would use the Dreads for in this fact. It's a Space Marine list, so there's actually not that much you can cut without losing an essential part of the list. As with all Space Marine lists these days, it's really lacking something to hold you back objective. Basically just have these Grey Hunters. And I find one of the easiest ways to stop a Space Marine player from effectively playing the game is to just target their backfield objective, and then they have to go back and try and stop you. Somehow. I don't know how they actually effectively do that. If it's an army like Space Wolves, they want to push up into the middle of the board. And obviously this list is pretty... he wants to be aggressive with all these characters, of course. So you pick Assassinate. And he's like, oh, if I push up with all these characters, I'm going to give you... It's only 9 points. Or Murderfang character could be 12 points. It's only 9 or 12 points. But if you think... It's Space Wolves, he has to push up with his characters to play the game. I could kill his characters and get 6-9 points, or I could try and do deploy scramblers and get 10 points, maybe if I get into the middle of the board. Sometimes Assassinate, even with as low as 3 or 4 characters, can be the correct choice against an aggressive army like this, because it makes them think twice about pushing up as hard as they would. But overall, it's a really decent list. I think it lacks a lot of mobility, and things like T-Wolf Cav lack a delivery system to get in without just dying. Especially something like Inceptors. Like, if he comes against White Scars, basically he just loses. Because between Vanguard Vets and White Scars, he'll just cut a swathe through his entire army. And White Scars are a lot faster. But good list. Angus Mac with Orcs. First Orc player. Right. A Grot Mob, interesting. So this is the one that gives Grots 6 up in Von, I think. All Grot units. Big Mech and Mega Armor. Okay, cool. A nice one. Big Mech and Mega Armor. I'm not sure this is the thing to make him basically like Ghazghkull, I think. Shock Attack Gun, Big Mech. You don't really see these anymore because they went up so much points and they don't have the souped up shocker. So interested to see it. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 3 is 18, so 180 Gretchen. 2 mechs. And then it's just a shitload of Grot tanks, Killicans, mech guns. Cool. What a lad this guy is. I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of fucking Grots to kill, isn't it? It's a lot of Grots to kill. But it doesn't really kill anything back, which is the problem. So any, like, army that has... Like, if it came up against Necrons with, like, a decent amount of shooting and melee, it just doesn't have a good time. Still, that's 180 Gretchen to kill. Could be dude. With a 6-up in Von as well. It could be good. I'd be interested to see how that turns out after a few games. Anmia with Tau. Tau Sept, so the normal Tau. We haven't actually seen that in a while. It was Farsight Enclaves for, as far as the eye could see, for a long time. So HQs, we got Cadre Fireblades, Shattered Sun for the double Kayun. Or Monka, whatever the fuck it is. Strikes, so that's your objective holders. 1 Riptide, marker drones, so marker, scout speeders, interesting. And then a shitload of broadsides with heavy rail rifles. It doesn't look like he's given them the Magna Rail rifle, which I find weird. Oh, he's got a second attachment of Farsights with Commander Farsight, Breachers, Crisis with Flamers, and Crisis Burst Cannons and ATS. Yeah, it's just not great. It just doesn't... There's so much points shoved into marker lights in this army. Yeah, and then the rail rifles are not great at all. Even with shield gens, they just sort of die. They're not hard to kill. They're battle suits and not monsters, so if you touch them, they can't fall back. Is that right? Yeah, I feel like it's right. I feel like I'm good. Just very... Like, so many marker drones. I know they're cheaper than shield drones, but they don't have the utility of shield drones. And then there's just so much... That's such an inability to play the mission in this sort of lists. That's just why I don't like Tau. So Antique Nova with Blood Angels. Okay, so we got a Captain, Icon on the Angel, can't remember what that does. Jump Pack, Rights of War, I know what that does, that's 6-inch OBSEC. And then we got Lieutenant with Jump Pack and Quake Bolts. I like the Quake Bolts tech, because Quake Bolts is the one that gives you +1 to hit in combat, if you shoot them, which is really cool. And then we have Incursors, 9 of, Intercessors, 9 of, Intercessors, 9 of. These are big squads of Intercessors. Like, this is 600 points worth of troops. And I don't know if they're for anything except for holding objectives. Probably not. And then we come to the meat of every Blood Angels list, which is just shitloads of Sandguard. All with axes. I think I like the swords more, but the axes are good as well. And then Vanguard Vets with Lightning Claw Storm Shield. Well, actually, he's got Inferno Pistol Lightning Claw, which is an interesting choice. Sorry, my cat's just trying to, like, eat my arm right now. Okay, we're back. Yeah, so Inferno Pistol's Lightning Claw gives them a lot of attacks at a decent amount of woundings. And the Inferno Pistols, I think only Blood Angels get them, and maybe they don't, but they're good for, like, if you drop in, charge in, you Lightning Claw everything, and then the enemy don't fall back because they want to shoot with their tanks, then in the next shooting phase, you just Inferno Pistol that tank to death. And then because obviously if a tank falls back, it can't shoot, but if it stays in combat, it can shoot. So it doesn't fall back because it wants to shoot. You Inferno Pistol it to death, and then you get to charge because you're not engaged anymore. That's how I would use them anyway. Surprisingly, he doesn't have any... what are they called? Death Company? Because I think Death Company basically almost always secure you a victory if you go first. And you use the Forlorn Fury, move them up, get a turn 1 charge. There's basically no way a lot of armies can recover from that. Like, a lot of the time, an opponent will just concede at that point. So weird that he doesn't have any, but who cares? It's a Blood Angel army, it'll do well. On to the next one, we have Eldari. Oh wait, it's not Eldari, it's Harlequins, don't worry guys. Soaring Spite, again. Shadow Seer with the Domino Shroud this time. All the other things that helps you basically avoid all harm and be really annoying. This is the Super Troop Master. This is, I think, more in line to the sort of Harlequin list I've seen, where it's got the one Shadow Seer and the Super Troop Master, and then it's got the Caresses and the Fusion Pistols mixed together, and it's got a lot more it's got the four 5-man squads to go in the boats, and then it's got these 2 10-man squads to they kind of act like Vanguard Vets, where they sit in a ruin, and they have a big sphere of influence where they can charge out and kill something, which is what I like. 2 squads of 3 Sky Weavers, and then a bunch of Star Weavers. What the fuck is the court? So this is a Ynnari detachment. Who the fuck uses Ynnari? What the fuck even is this? An Archon and Yvraine, and then Witches. Who knows how this army works? I think this army will win based... I mean, this is only 390 points, I guess. But this army will do well based on the 1,600 points of Harlequins that it has. It's such a strong Harlequins list right now. Right, moving swiftly on to a Craft Worlds player. Is this pure Craft Worlds? What a crazy guy. Autarch with Swooping Hop Wings. So this is Expert Crafters, Masters of Concealment, which I think is always counts in light cover, but I could be wrong. Expert Crafters is the Salamander reroll ones. Warlock Skyrunner with an Autarch, with Fateful Divergence and Enhanced Strain. This is a... I don't know, that's a weird power setup. Is it? I feel like it is. For a Warlock? There's better powers than that, I think. Isn't there just like Jinx and stuff like that? Probably be better. And then we got Dire Avengers, Dire Avengers, Dire Avengers, your cheap troop choices. Warp Spiders, they're really good for pulling off all the actions you want to do with their teleport things. Two Lynxes, which Forge World models that got very slightly changed, I think. They used to be a lot more killy, but I think they got a little bit cheaper, maybe. Wave Serpent, very good these days. Well, I mean, very good for Craft Worlds. And then we've got another detachment of Patrol, Children of Prophecy, and Hunters of Ancient Relics. A Children of Prophecy, I think, is the +1 to cast. And Hunters of Ancient Relics is the +1 attack in range of a objective, which is why you then have this. Warlock Skyrunners, you basically use them like an extra group of Shining Spears. Throw them at objectives. They get +1 to cast, which goes well with Quicken, Protect, Jinx, Smite. And they get like 3 casts with +2 with all these models. And I think they're the number they can cast and their bonus goes down the more models that die. So that works out quite well. Using them as like Shining Spears that can also cast. And then Dire Avengers. I think if you're gonna bother to put this sort of attachment in, you just take more Shining Spears as well. Because why the fuck not? I mean, yeah, why not? I think you go all in the Shining Spears at that point. Go big or go home. But yeah, it's interesting to see Craft Worlds still being played. A Rover playing Death Guard's probably MBH. Yep. Okay, so we got Chaos Lord with Arch Contaminator. Who knows what that does? Who cares? Plague Caster. Miasma. Who cares about that? No one. Plague Marines to hold objective, Poxwalkers to be annoying, Fly Blight Spawn to be annoying, Blight Horrors, Blight Haulers. Ugh. These models are fucking broken as shit for 100 points. They're just crazy. And then another Outrider of Poxmongers, Demon Prince of Nurgle with the Ironclad Furnace to give these guys a 4-up invuln, which is just so dumb. Wings, obviously, to keep up with him. Noxious Blightbringer. Who knows what that does? Tallyman. Tallyman does the stuff for the Poxwalkers, I think. And then shitloads of Chaos Spawn to just be annoying, hold objectives, and never die with Contaminated Monstrosity. And more Blight Haulers, obviously. It's a fucking strong list. What are you gonna do? I personally... it's probably not the optimum, like, play for this list, but I like the one where it includes a Great Uncleed one to bring back the Blight Haulers on a 4+ when they die. I kind of like that list, but I mean, this is fucking... If you don't have enough consistent anti-tank fire to kill 3 Blight Haulers a turn, yeah, you may as well not fucking play this game, because they will just rip through you. They'll sit in the middle of the board, shoot a million bullets that do a load of damage with loads of AP, and just not die. And it's so hard for an army that doesn't have the anti-tank to deal with it to actually win. Ash and Gold playing Dark Angels. So many things. So, we have a Master and Terminator armor. What's all this? Command Squad. What? Why is this here? Oh, because you can take all this. So the way Deathwing Command Squads work is you can take all this without it filling a Force Orc slot. I think that's why it's there. I couldn't tell you otherwise. Tech Marines, Eliminators, Vanguard Detachment, Interrogator Chaplain, Tech Marine, Daredevil, Leviathan, Deathwing Knights, Siren Varinator Hellblaster. So it's basically just trying to be as killy as possible. That's all it is. Armies that play the mission better will win. Because, like, what the fuck is he going to put on objectives? The Dreadnoughts? Sure, whatever. Like, yeah, he'll kill stuff easily, but some things you just can't kill fast enough. Sure, it'll do well, but there's much better armies. Grey Knights. Brother Captain with things. Drago with more things. Interesting that he's got Terminators, not Strike Squads. He might have more Strike... Nope, that's it. So he's got Terminator Squads. Probably because the Strike Squads are a little bit flimsy right now. But 3 Terminator Squads, a Silencer on each, and 3 Warning Slaves. That makes them quite... and Hammerhand and Gate Infinity on 2. Makes them very mobile with Gate Infinity, and also very hard to kill with Warning Staves. Pretty fucking tough to kill that as troops. The Apothecary and Ancient, both pretty standard. Paladins, Psycannon, and then a bunch of Warding Stave, Stormbolter. It's very, very hard to kill. And then this is the thing that a lot of people are using now, Purgaton Squads with Silencers, just so many shots. Especially with Astralim, you can shoot through walls and stuff, which is so important because it ignores dense cover as well, as of now. And then a Rhino, I'm guessing he may be just... oh no, because you can use the Purgaton Squads, put them in the Rhino, get them out, makes them pretty damn useful. Yeah, I like this. I feel like I played this list in a memory. Except for the Terminators, he has strikes, and it was easy to just kill the strikes, but the Terminators I could see would be very hard to kill. I kind of like that tech. He's not running as much characters as a Grey Knight list would traditionally use, but I think that's changed now because they don't have Brotherhood of Psykers to ignore the warp charge of Smite going up. Having a load of characters to just instantly throw out a billion smites at damage 2 isn't as important anymore. So, like, actually putting those points into Purgaton Squads and having less Paladins, because Paladins are 500 points a squad and are insanely slow and easy to, like, bog down. Having those Purgaton Squads gives you something to hold backfield objectives and sort of midfield objectives. And if those midfield objectives are in cover, say, your Purgaton Squads aren't useless because they can astral aim through the cover and still shoot. So it's pretty strong. And I think Grey Knights are one of those armies that people are sort of sleeping on in 9th because they lost Brotherhood of Psykers, which is one of their easiest ways to just do 20 mortal wounds of damage in a phase and just cripple your enemy. But I feel like it might go back to playing a lot more of this sort of thing, especially with the amount of Stormbolters Grey Knights can throw out. It would go well to counter the Horde meta we seem to be coming into. But yeah, I like the Grey Knights. Bead Marine, love this name. Deathwatch, I like Deathwatch. 2 extra relics, that's a good start. Captain on Bike. Okay, first problem for me. You need a Watchmaster for me. If he's got another... Nope. So you need a Watchmaster for me if you're playing Deathwatch, because you can't do the stratagem to change your battlefield role you selected for your Xenohunter chapter tactic if you didn't take a Watchmaster, which is, to me, the most... the biggest way to have your army as that really flexible anti-battlefield role army. Like, you start off in troops, or you start off in killing elites. You kill all their elites, and then you're like, shit, they still have a bunch of troops on the field. How do I stop this? Okay, I'm going to switch my battlefield role target to troops, and I can mop them up very easily. That, to me, the flexibility that allows is massive. Massive. So let's look at Captain on Bike. Nowhere to Hide is the ignore cover aura, which is not great because it's not ignore dense cover. I think it's only light cover or armor saving throw cover. Not great, if I remember that right. Rights of War, which is the normal one. Vigil Unmatched is that's the thing that gives you an extra world trait. Tome of Ectoclades is the most broken relic in the game. Basically, you select a data sheet, and any core unit within 6 inches of you, reroll all wounds against that data sheet for the phase. So say you are surrounded by 60 Necron Warriors. Well, at the start of the phase, you say, okay, well, I'm going to reroll all wounds against Necron Warriors for this phase. And then you drop in 10 Inceptors, and you don't even need to overcharge, you just kill, like, all 60 of them. Or even fucking bolt guns at that point, just rip through anything. Librarian. It's weird to me to take a Librarian as Deathwatch and take 0 of the Deathwatch powers, because they are so much better than this. Might of Heroes is okay, but it's not amazing. Null Zone is so inconsistent, and it's also terrible for your own army. Especially when you're going to be running all this. Storm Shields. Terrible for your army. Psychic Fortress. Basically just going to be for 2 Redemptor Dreads and some Eradicators. Which, yeah, not great. Not great. He's a Chief Librarian. Cool, I guess. Psychic Mastery, I think it gives him +1 to cast. And then Beacon Angelus means he can teleport 1 infantry unit to him at the end of the movement phase. Which is really good, except when you don't really have that many good targets, except for Eradicators. Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of this. Chappie on Bike, which is just your basic Chappie on Bike that's gonna go around and punch people to death. Gives himself a Mantle of Strength, Canticle of the Hate, and he's got Benediction of Fury, so he's gonna be punching at 4 damage, AP2, Strength. Well, he's gonna probably give him Mighty of Heroes as well, right? So he's gonna be Strength 8 with 6 attacks, 7 attacks, 6 or 7 attacks. Strength 8, 6 or 7 attacks, AP2, 4 damage. Pretty good, but like, yeah, I mean, he's pretty good. He's a good beat stick. Troops, Deathwatch Vets, you've got all these guys. I don't think the Black Shield does anything. Can you even take a Black Shield into Deathwatch Veterans anymore? For some reason, I don't think you actually can. You must be able to. Incursors, just normal Incursors. It's what's the point in playing Deathwatch if you're not going to take Indomitor kill teams or Fortress kill teams? That's the entire reason, to me, Deathwatch are so strong right now. Those mixed kill teams are crazy good. A couple of Redemptors, not even an Apothecary. Yeah. And then 3 Inceptors. And then 3, 4, 5, 6 Eradicators. 2 Rhinos. It's just real messy. It's like, I could understand if this was the guys in real life army. That would make sense to me. Because it's just a bit messy as it is right now. To me, anyway. It might do well just with the access to stratagems he has, depending on how many Xenos players he plays against. Orcs, again, so we've got Goths, which do something, I'm sure. 6 up Funeral Pain or something like that. Big Mouth Custom Force Field, Ghazghkull, Warboss. This is the Ghazghkull list I think a lot of people are using, which is basically just walk Ghazghkull up the middle of the board. With all these like very hard to kill threats holding objectives. Like Meganobs holding objectives, it's very hard to shift. If you charge them and you don't kill like at least 4 of them, then one guy can turn around and just kill 3 Blade Guard vets easily. Painboy, Smasher, and then more Goths. He's got a Weird Boy and Gretchen. Yeah, I mean, this is like your basic current orc list that a lot of people are starting to turn to, which is, okay, well, I'm going to put these guys on objectives. And I'm going to walk this up the middle of the board. Can can you kill all of this before this has scored me enough points to win the game? Question mark. And it's kind of the way a lot of Horde armies are going, which is, can you kill my big... I have one or two really big threats. Can you kill them before my Hordes have scored me enough points? And the answer is oftentimes no right now. But we'll see how that goes. If it comes against something that can kill a lot of boys fast, it's going to be tough. An Imperium army by Bastion. Base Urton. Base Return. Basserton. Oh my god, he's playing knights. He's a crazy man. He's not actually. He's got a Castellan and then a bunch of Moiraxes, which I like. House Raven, which is the best house. I'm sad that this isn't Valiant, because that's the best knight in the game. But I like it anyway. I like knights, and you know what? Not a lot of people are actually taking enough anti-tank to kill knights now. Long range anti-tank. You play a game, you hardly see any las cannons or similar weapons anymore, which is what was so bad for knights. Was at the end, near the end of 8th, like a lot of Space Marines armies were just running like triple mortis or like triple contemptor with las cannons, and you just couldn't run tanks at that point. But now Space Marines are running a lot of multi-meltas and eradicators and inceptors, but the multi-meltas are easy to screen. If you like stick your Knight Castle in the back of your army, it's very easy to screen 24 inches, or at least 12 inches, so they don't get melta range. And that means your knight survives 4 turns instead of 2 turns. So I think knights might make like a mini comeback before they get shut down again by people taking more and more anti-tank. And then he's got Stygies, Outrider, with some amazing tech. Tech Priest engines here. I mean, he just wants to keep this cheap, right? X101, which is the most broken interaction in the game. He is not a character. He can go into outflank. He can deep strike in your deployment zone. He is a single model on a 32 mil base, and he can deploy scramblers. So you tell me how you screen out your entire deployment zone for one single model to stop deploy scramblers. It's fucking impossible. Well, it's not impossible, but you have to bend your mind to do that. And is it worth to screen out your entire deployment zone for multiple turns to stop deploy scramblers? Is it feasible to do that in a game? Probably not. You're gonna miss a single spot, right? Skystalkers, they obviously have the soar away ability, which lets them be very good at deploying scramblers as well. And then Raiders, because Raiders are broken. It's a good list. And Stygies, it's all -1 to hit outside of 12 inches. Hard to kill. And then the Raven stuff is just like a lot of shooting, like reasonable quality shots. I like it. I like it a lot. I hope it does well. Where are we at? 18? Fucking hell. Okay, Bassman UK, let's go. Eldari again. Hello? Okay, here we go. Eldari. So we got Drukhari, Cabal Blackheart, Archon, Yinkarn. Fucking hate Yinkarn. Cavalry Warriors, 3 of. 2 Ravagers, 1 Reaper. Venom. And then Harlequins, Frozen Stars. Yeah, a Frozen Stars, like, add-on. Because, like, what the fuck's the point? If you're going to play Eldari, you may as well have something like this. Like a Frozen Stars add-on. It's like 750 points for some of the best units in the game. And then, like, whatever Harlequin disposition you're more, like, attuned to, you put most of your points in that, and you're like, well, yeah, this isn't that optimal, but if I just stick in a patrol detachment of 750 points of Harlequins, it should do okay. And it will. But yeah, I think a lot of people don't play around Vect anymore, because I can't think of that many stratagems that are used to this day. The Vect has that much of an impact on. Vect is 4 CP. A lot of the very strong stratagems we saw were Space Marine stratagems that were like 2-3 CP. they've either been removed or they've gone down. You know, something like Gravamp or something. So I don't know how many actual targets there are for this Vect that are that good. I guess if you were playing something like Custodes and they want to do the 3-inch Deep Strike or whatever, stopping that would really fuck up their game. Or like Dark Angels with Dynamic Insertion, or whatever it's called. Combined Assault. That could really fuck up the game. Have their characters in a really bad position. But again, it's 4 CP, and it's you're already spending 3 CP just to have this detachment. Yeah, because he's got his Warlord here. I wonder if it wouldn't be smarter to just get rid of all that and just make more fusion boats. Because that's what essentially, these are just different, these are just different fusion boats. Because Disintegrator Cannons they're alright, but they're not amazing. Especially since he's not like the +1 to wound obsession, is he? No. Yeah, so I think that sort of list would just be better to be more Harlequins. But if you're gonna be, if you want to play Drukhari and then you're like, I'll just splash in some Harlequins to make it a bit better, it's probably okay. Right, Space Wolves. More Space Wolves. Primus Champion Bike. Yep. As usual, just being the same as always. Librarian. Yep, because he's very strong. And Cursors. Infiltrators. I think we're going to see a lot more Infiltrators than usual. Because Deep Striking has gotten a bit more useful nowadays. But Infiltrators just completely fucked that over. A bunch of Blade Guard. Judiciar. Weird to see. I mean, with a Judiciar, a Librarian, and the Chaplain, I think you can have 3 things fighting last on your enemy team. On the enemy... Or 3 things ineligible to fight on the enemy side. Which, against something like the Slaanesh Demons, which rely on them fighting first, if you make them ineligible to fight, it evens the playing field a lot. Outriders, T-Wolf Cav, Eradicators. Everyone's taking 6 Eradicators. Such a bad idea. It's like a massive squad of 240 points of 29-inch range. So easy to zone out, so easy to pick off, and so easy to avoid. Why you would not take 2 squads of 3 is beyond me, because 10 Melta shots from Eradicators, if it shoots something, it will kill that thing. So why not take 2 squads of 6? 2 squads of 3, sorry. So you can actually split your shots. It just seems weird. Sorry, that's 12 shots. So it's 12 shots going into one thing, Melta. It's going to die. You can't split your shots because you lose the ability to double shoot. But if you had 2 squads of 3, just keep them together. You can either shoot 12 shots at one thing, or you can shoot 6 shots at 2 different things, which I think is better. And then he's got 2 impulsors, which are garbage. I would not pay 130 points for 2 impulsors. What? It just seems such a waste of points, especially when they don't fly anymore. But yeah, fun list. Right, I'm going to go up to C, and then I'm going to take a break, and then I'm probably going to come back and do some more. So, we have Bedak with Chaos. It's going to be another fucking... Actually, this is a very interesting list. Yeah, having a quick... Okay, so let's get the obvious thing out of the way. He's got the requisite chaos... What the fuck's that? A fortification? A fortification? What is this? I don't even know what that is. I presume it's probably garbage. But he's got the requisite patrol detachment of Chaos Demons with a Poxbringer, Nurgling, and Furies. Basically, hold objectives. This is your hold objectives detachment for the cheap price of 327 points. And then he's got his detachment of things that will actually do stuff. So he's got the Demon Prince, Master Possessions. Is this mixed? It's Iron Warriors. Yeah, so he's got basically a detachment just for obliterators. Which is weird, he's made them Mark of Nurgle and not Mark of Slaanesh for double fire or whatever the fuck. I guess he's going to put his double fire on the Havocs. But then why not just make your obliterators do that? Or do that stratagem to give something every mark. Does that still exist? I don't know. But like, Mark of Nurgle, is that not the worst one? Why don't you just have the exploding sixes thing as well? What does Mark of Nurgle do to obliterators? Anything? I don't know. I don't think anything interesting, right? Slaanesh and Khorne are better. IMO. But yeah, your basic chaos list, which just has this, your hold objectives detachment and then your kill things detachment. Dark Angels, very popular right now. Got a captain. Oh man, I can't believe no one not taking Azrael. It's like one of the best things. Captain / captain. It looks like. Libby with Might Fear's Null Zone. I don't know why people would take Null Zone when they've got these Deathwing Knights and so many things that rely on influence. It's never going to be that great. Toma Malkador, I think he has to have that power noted down in his data sheet. Curie, if you're watching this, then get on that. Lieutenant. Oh, Primaris Lieutenant with Vox Spiritum. Wow. But is that just for the aura? That looks like he's just taken that Vox Spiritum for the Lieutenant aura and nothing else, which is fucking weird. Moving swiftly on. Tax. All there's normal. A Deathwing Apothecary that's not a selfless healer. Deathwing Knights. Inceptors, 3 of, 2 single ATVs, Eradicator, Razorback. Okay, there's a few like glaring problems with this list, and it's first thing is this isn't a Ravenwing Apothecary, and he's not a selfless healer, so he can't make use of the Combined Assault. The Invader ATVs are 2 separate groups, so he can't make use of the 4-up invuln strat to cover both of them. And also, he can't revive them with the Apothecary, because once one dies, that's it. It's gone. Eradicators, for some reason. Stop taking Eradicators, guys. Just convert this group into more Inceptors, and you'll have much more success. Eradicators are so easy to play around. There's a reason a lot of top players aren't using any Eradicators. It's all Inceptors. But like, if you want to take any Eradicators, just cut this one group. Transfer these 120 points into 2 more Inceptors. Use the 20 points to, I don't know, get some more some things. Actually, I think another 20 points would make a Ravenwing Apothecary affordable. And without the Ancient and the Ancient banner for the Deathwing Knights, they don't have a 5-up Female Pain. Yeah, I think you need to not build a battalion, and then you need to make use of the Command Squad ability to make some of these slotless, in my opinion. But yeah, there's some problems with that list. And then we've got another Chaos Demons, Blaze with Chaos Demons, Blaze XD7. Demon Soup 7, so this is obviously a 7th iteration. Let's hope it's good. Chaos Undivided. Belkor, I think that's some sort of special character. I think that's the special, not the Lord of Change. One of them. It's a special character. Death Hex and Infernal Gaze. Death Hex is pretty good. Everyone's running line with very low invulns. Or like 4-up invulns are pretty standard to come across. Very hard to kill. Death Hex can stop that. Especially on something like Harlequin's Jet Bikes. Quite interesting. Infernal Gaze, very good power. Bloodthirst Oath, Insensate Rage. I wonder, oh, so it's an Exalted Bloodthirster as well. Oblivious to Pain, that's like a 5-up or 5-up or 6-up Feel No Pain, right? Weird to see a Bloodthirster. A lot of people aren't taking them. Lord of Change, everyone's taking them. Impossible Robe, yep, so a 3-up Feel No Pain. He's taken an Exalted Lord of Change, but he hasn't chosen what the trait is, so he's going to roll for 2 separate ones, which is honestly fine on a Lord of Change, because they're all good choices. If you roll 2, you've got a third of a choice to get one you really want, I guess. So yeah, not bad at all. Bloodletters, Plague Bearers, Flamers, Skullken, Skull Grinder, Soul Grinder. Who knows what the fuck they are? They're demon engines. I actually find a lot of these things like Flamers harder to kill than they seem. Oh my god, I got the hiccups. Flamers are harder to kill than they seem. Plague Bearers are obviously Plague Bearers. And Bloodletters, I mean, they're gonna get in. It's not hard for them to get in. But if you don't kill them the turn after they come in with the rest of your army, they can wreak a lot of havoc. And having to deal with 40 Bloodletters means you're not dealing with any of this. You're not dealing with any of this. You're not dealing with any of this. So it's like a demon list in general is like, it throws threats at you so you can't deal with the things that are actually scoring points or the things that will dismantle you later in the game. And it's a pretty good tactic. I kind of like this list, actually. Seeing a Bloodletters and Bloodthirsters is quite an interesting thing to see. And then the last list for this... wait, what time is it? It's been almost an hour already. Yeah, so I'm going to upload this in an hour segment. So the last list is Buttons with his Adeptus Custodes. I think this is in my pod, actually. So we got Trajan... Captain Donegal Jetbike. He's not a fucking destroyer or whatever the hell. That's interesting, but I think he's got a 5-up Feel No Pain, and he's just very, very hard to kill the captain on Donegal. But he doesn't have the thing where he can fall back out of contact, which is probably one of the strongest things about the Shield Captain on Jetbike. 2 squad of Sword and Board, a squad of Spears, bunch of Alaris, Vexil's Praetor to bring them in. Wait, the Sagittarium Custodians, they're basically the same as these guys, right? I can never remember, but they're the Forge World version, something like that. Virtus Praetors, that's the bikes. These fucking bikes are so hard to kill, but once you do kill them, it's the main, like, wind out of their sails. And then Telamon with the, with only 1 gun and 1 fist. Interesting. Talamon's very hard to kill as well. Like, exceedingly hard to kill. But it's ignorable. And it doesn't score, points that easily. Like, Custodes have a big batch of defensive buffs they can put on to stop you killing something. So, say you have 2 or 3 anti-tank units. And the first thing you do is you say, well, I'm going to target your Virtus Praetors. Or I'm going to target your Telamon. With unit number 1, my strongest anti-tank unit. And he goes, okay, well, I'm going to ignore AP 1 and 2. I'm going to turn off your rerolls. I'm going to -1 damage. I'm going to burn 5 CP to do all that. You go, okay. So this, my strongest anti-tank unit, is going to do fucking nothing to this Telamon. It's going to bounce off entirely. I'll maybe do 1 damage. But then all my other medium-grade anti-tank, it's going to turn on the Virtus Praetors. And at that point, you have maybe 1 stratagem you can use to make them not easily killable. And at that point, you're going to be spending upwards of like 5 or 6 CP to like try and keep them safe. So the faster you can burn through a Custodes player's CP, the easier a game you're going to have. And since he only starts with 10 CP, He's either got 2 turns of defensive buffs, or he's got a turn of defensive buffs and a turn of offensive buffs. Or maybe 2 turns of offensive buffs and 1 turn of defensive buffs. So the faster you make him burn through those defensive buffs, the better. But this list is just gonna, if it sits on points and you don't challenge it, it's just gonna spin out of control. Because he'll rack up primary. It'll be exceedingly harder and harder for you to go out onto the objectives and score your own primary. So you gotta jump on it and stamp it down real quick. Okay, and that's us up to the letter B. 24 out of 181. And I have to pause because my throat is getting sore. But I'm going to give myself a little break. I'm going to stop this recording. I'm going to give myself a little break. And then I'm going to record another segment and post that tomorrow or something. And one day I will get through all these fucking lists that you guys decide to submit. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Doots and Doot. Who the Dr. Bro and Daribo? Who the fuck are you guys? What is this? Glacier Laser? Glarg? Golden Master? Or more like Golden Shower Master? You fucking... Okay. I'm gonna go and be not angry at you guys. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna upload this video. And then I'm gonna come back and do the rest of it. I've been Glarg. These have been your shitty lists. Catch you on the flip side.